come out of divisional playoff weekend.
Rich.
Number 5 on this list. Here we go. Here's the top 5. Simply put, Joe Burrow is the real effing deal. That's it. Joe Burrow is the real effing deal. Anybody who thought, okay, last year was just the old fluke, and they started 0-2, and the Ravens had first place for much of the year, and the Bengals really aren't all that, and Joe Burrow is not going to be able to do it again. He does it again. He gets the team back to the AFC Championship game and in the same spot. And if you put Kansas City Chiefs fans on the old sodium pentothal, if they get the old meet the parents lie detector treatment,
I have nipples, Greg.
They are seeing Joe Burrow, and they do not want any piece of him. Certainly the way that he is playing. Certainly in the fact that he hasn't lost since Halloween. He is the real deal. And he is going to be there to stay, and he is top elite quarterback, and it's never not going to be this way with him. As he said, as long as he is active, the championship window is open, and who disbelieves that now? Nobody.
By the way, how cold was that? That was
it's
his
great.
answer.
As long as I'm active, the championship window's open here. So that's number 5 on the list. And even though that's number 5 on the list, and even though I think everybody should recognize Burrow's greatness and how he can go into Western New York in that setting, under those circumstances, in that weather, and look so great and just boat race the Bills out. Number 4 on this list is, are the Bills just not that good? That's a simple question, and it is a tough one for Bills fans to swallow. It's the truth. It is a true, viable question. Are they just not that good? It's tough for them to swallow. It's tough for me to swallow. I was all in on the Bills to start the season. I mean, everybody was. I was so all in on the Bills that even my Raiders take will make you blush. That's how much I was on the Bills and on Josh Allen. And are they just collectively not as good as we thought, or just good enough to make the AFC Championship game as currently constituted? And in the same, like, honestly, we were all in on the Chargers. We were all in on the Vikings. For some reason, people are all in on the Cowboys. You're seeing that all over the map. Some people just aren't as all in on the Bills in the same way, and they sorely disappointed. You could say worse than the Cowboys, Chargers, and Vikings did this year. Those guys, the Cowboys, you were hoping could maybe get back to the championship game.
We didn't.
Bills, you thought were going to win the Super Bowl, and they didn't even make it out of divisional playoff weekend.
Yeah.
So that's a question that we're going to have to answer. Number 3 on this list is a simple question. What we saw out of Brock Purdy and his performance on Sunday against the Cowboys, is it just the inevitable hiccup, or is he just closer to midnight striking? That's the question for this Cinderella story. And that's the question that can be answered by how good of a unit do you think the Cowboys defense is? How much of a crucible is the National Football League divisional playoff round? Because, as I mentioned, his only road starts, one was at Seattle on a short week on a Thursday night against a divisional opponent. That's a tough place to play. The other one was in Las Vegas. And I am sure half of that building was wearing Niner red. If not 60% of it, 70% of it. It's probably they're probably going silent snap, the Raiders at home, because of the fans there. Philadelphia NFC Championship game is a cauldron. So that's the question about what we saw out of Purdy. He didn't make that mistake. Dak's the one who made the mistake, which is part of the reason why Purdy's moving on, because he didn't throw an interception. He didn't turn it over, and Dak did. Number 2 on this list, coming out of that game, what will Jerry do? What's he going to do? Because there are options on the table for him to go full nuclear if he's loved Sean Payton for all this time. All those other years, Sean Payton truly wasn't really available. This year, He 1,000% is. He's standing there on Fox. He's sitting there on Colin's couch. He's sitting all over FS1, just basically saying,
come get me.
Come get me. Who wants me? The whole business of he needed to recharge his battery in the sabbatical, I think that is over. He clearly wants to coach again. And then in terms of quarterbacks, he gave Dak a huge piece of the pie. If he wants to go nuclear there, he's got an option for Tom Brady too. It's all there. Oof. These are I'm not stirring anything up. Brady's going to be a free agent. Sean Payton clearly is a free agent. That will require some compensation to his former team in the form of a first-round pick. And so the question is, how much does Jerry want to win? And does he really believe losing Dan Quinn, as it does look like he's finally going to do, and going and running it back with Dak and looking at the roster the way it is, does he want to blow it completely up and just go for it? Or is he just going to run it back? What will Jerry do? And the number one storyline to come out of divisional playoff weekend, we've already hit on it, and we're going to hit on it. Number one is the Patrick Mahomes ankle watch 24/7 is on. What's going on with that ankle? How badly hurt is it? What type of Mahomes are we going to see on Sunday? Because if he is limited, if he is not the same Mahomes, then one would think the Bengals have a significant advantage. Is a shadow of Mahomes still better than most quarterbacks? The answer, I know you had said, is yes. I think we all agree on that. Is it better than Joe Burrow?
Nope.
I don't know.
He's at 25% that I didn't equate.
I know that. I get it. I know. I moved the goalposts on you, TJ. I moved the goalposts on you. But that's the number one storyline to come out of divisional playoff.
You think we need one more?
Okay.
All right, we'll get one more.
We do need one more. And as we all know, I'm a storyline guy. It's all about a season-long storyline arc. In the same way the Bills were supposed to win it all, we saw their storyline, their season storyline arc filled with awful emotion, like the one that we saw with Damar Hamlin going down. And then also, thankfully, recovering, yes. And then, of course, you see how will seasons finish up? How will things play out when obviously they're highly anticipated? So one more time, I'm going to go back to this and say a top storyline to come out of divisional playoff weekend is we aren't going to find out what Einstein does with his new self-service, are we?
Wow.
Are we? I don't think we are, guys.
Brilliant!
I keep on wondering, are we going to find out what Einstein... Because last we saw... He was so excited to have his new self-service. He runs off without his bicycle. And I'm thinking the next time. But I personally think they only got Paul Giamatti for a day. And we're not going to. I think the storyline is, in fact, kaput.
Kaput.
I think that's the storyline. I think it's over.
Wow.
And every single time I see it, I think maybe we're going to see a different ending, but we don't. I think it's time for me to finally look into the abyss and know we'll never find out what happened to Einstein with his new self-service.
That's pretty sad, man, to think about.
I know. But, as you know, I'm obsessed with that commercial. I place that above how will Jalen Hurts handle the home, NFC playoff game. I'd even go in the direction of anything else when I had one more shot at giving you a storyline.
See, that's what I'm saying. The Eagles fans must be livid. Right?
They must be. But I will find out what happens, though. I know we will find out what happens to the Eagles season. I know that.
But Einstein, though.
I think that's one and done.
You think Einstein likes Merlot?
No way.
Do you think he did?
That's swill to
How many
Einstein.
takes of kaput do you think he did? Was that the first read?
I don't know. Probably for him. You can't ask him. Just like, how many different reads of kaput?
Like
brilliant, though, is a different story.
You know what I mean?
Here's what I want to know.
Brilliant!
Oh, God.
I want to know what historical figure Dave Franco would play in a series of commercials.
No, actually, you know what?
That's what
hold on a minute. I don't want to drag Dave. I don't want to drag Dave down to our level. We haven't met him. So,
we haven't
you know,
met him.
We haven't had him here.
Dave seems
I don't want to drag him. I don't want to drag him
he-
into this. I don't want to drag him. He's a Niner fan. He's concerned about the Purdy storyline, I think.
He might be.
The interview would be
Kaputt.
before it even starts.
That's correct. So, but I think we should come up with or I'll do it if you want, top 5 historical figures I think Paul Giamatti should play in the sequel. Didn't he do John Adams first? Didn't we see that? Or that was just him on HBO? Or he did Scrooge. I think he did Scrooge for the holiday season.
Yes.
Come on, did we not get a third?
For the Super Bowl, there
Super Bowl
has to be.
commercial. Come on.
There has to be another one.
Yeah, it can't be.
I don't know about
Right?
that.
It's got to be.
By the
There's gotta
way,
be.
if Philly makes it, Ben Franklin.
I mean, that's what I said. Ben Franklin the other day. He's got to do Ben Franklin.
My gosh.
He's got to do Ben Franklin.
Or Allen Iverson.
Okay. I just think
I want to see that one, DJ.
practice is
We're
kaput.
talking about practice.
His relationship with Larry Brown kaput.